All right, so whether you're a high school, college, or about to be pro athlete, I'm about to teach you how to run the most efficient and fastest 5-10-5 Pro Shuttle that you could possibly run. All right, so we're going to start off with a quick overview of what the 5-10-5 Pro Shuttle is. So 5-10-5, it's in the name. It's going to be 5 yards to one side, 10 yards to the opposite side, and then finish through 5. So it's going to be a 20-yard drill that we need to accomplish. So now we're going to break it down into 4 different parts so we can understand every intricacy of this 5-10-5 Pro Shuttle. And those 4 parts are going to be 1, the start, 2, the first 5 yards, 3, the 10 yards, and then 4, the last 5 yards. So to break it down even deeper, we're going to go over a step-by-step process at a slow rate of what the 5-10-5 Pro Shuttle is going to look like. So it's going to start off by splitting the line and getting to our setup. And then from there, it's going to be a crossover drive to one side plus 4 steps to get to that yard line. And then from there, it's going to be another crossover drive the other way into 8 steps to get to that other yard line. And then we're going to finish it off with a max effort sprint. So it'll look like this. At a slow rate, I'm set up over the line. It's crossover drive, 1, 2, 3, 4, touch the line. From there, it's crossover drive, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then from there, it's a max effort sprint to finish off through the line. So we're going to start off with our base. Our base is to be within our hips, shoulders in a power position. So if I'm too wide, I'm not in a position to immediately take off. But if I'm within my frame, I'm in a good, strong power position, I can immediately take off. From there, we need to know what side we're going to. So if I'm going left, I'm going to stagger my left foot back just a tad, just enough to where we can clear with our hips, but we're not giving it away. We're not giving it away that, hey, I'm going this way. They'll probably call you on that. If I'm going right, same thing, my right foot's going to be staggered back. From there, I'm going to drop from my hips and not bend at my torso. So I'm not going to come down lazily and just get down. I need to drop my hips and load them so I can immediately get out as fast as possible. So I'm dropping my hips and then I'm going to load the leg to the side that I'm going to. So if I'm going right, I'm going to load my right. So now I have my weight shifted to my right leg, slight stagger back with my right leg. Then from there, the hand that's going to be down is going to be the side that you're going to. So if I'm going right, I'm going to have my right hand down. Then with the other arm, you want to cover up any stagger and any pre-lean that you have so I don't call you out on it. So hands down, bending at my hips, loading this leg, my feet are in a power position, my hands covering, and then from here, all of my weight's here, and I should be easily able to crossover step and shoot outward. So I'm here, loaded, ready, and go. So now we got our setup down, we got it down pat. Now we're going to go over our first 5 yards. Now some key aspects of our first 5 yards is that this is not a sprint. We're not full effort sprinting to 5 yards because it's going to be too much speed that we have to slow down. It needs to be smooth. This needs to be done at like 95, 90%. So it can be smooth and we can transition easily. We don't want to speed up. We don't want to slow down a lot of speed. Second, we don't want to get high. So I don't want to get up just like I'm doing a 40-yard dash within 5 yards and have to drop all the way down and do all that work. I need to be clean and crisp and stay low the entire time. Then from there, as we have our setup, the first 5 yards are just a crossover drive plus 4 steps. And then when we get to our decel point, I need to finish off with a staggered stance and my weight loaded on the inside leg. So we're going to go over how to do that. So I'm set up, power stance, set up, slight stagger, and I'm here. Then it's a pre-lean, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now you'll notice as I approach from steps 2, 3, and 4, my hips are turning diagonally. So my hips are turning and facing here. This is going to allow me to have a staggered stance with this outside leg up. If my outside leg is back, I have to go all the way around just to clear it, and we don't want that. It's going to take too much time. If my hips are turned, my foot staggered, I can easily clear my hip as I go for the next 10 yards. And then from there, another key important aspect is pre-leaning and loading the inside leg. So both the first 5 and the 10 yards is going to be an inside load. What do I mean by that? The weight needs to be on my inside leg. So I'm here jabbing, the weight's on my inside leg. If it's on my outside leg, I have to shift all the way back inside just to reaccelerate again. So at a little faster rate, set up, crossover, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm in a good strong stance. Easy to clear, easy to turn, and set up my next 10 yards. All right, so now that I've completed my setup and my first 5 yards, I ended up in a position right here. So I'm bending at the hips, not at the torso. I'm bending at the hips. My inside leg is loaded. My hips are turned, and my outside foot is staggered up. This is gonna set me up for my next 10 yards. Now, for this 10 yards, all it is a crossover drive plus 8 steps to get to the exact same position that I'm in right now, except the other way. So with the third part of our 5-10-5 Pro Shuttle being this 10 yards, once I'm here, it's a crossover drive, and I'm taking steps 1, 2, 3, and 4, and I'm going straight out. Then steps 5, 6, 7, 8 is where I do the exact same thing as the first 5 yards. I begin to turn, crossover pound, and finish in the exact same stance, but the other way. Outside leg up, touching with the outside leg. So in action, the 10 yards would look just like this. Here, turn and sprint, crossover pound, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I finished in a staggered stance, bending at my hips, pre-leaning inside with the weight on the inside leg, ready to do a full max effort sprint for the last 5 yards. So I should end up here, feet staggered, in a position to just sprint in a straight line, max effort. So to put it all together, we have the 4 parts: the start, the first 5, the 10, and the last 5. It should look just like this. I'm in my stance, stagger, leaning, hand down to the side I'm going to, covering up. Crossover, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Sprint, max effort through the line. So now we know how to do the most efficient and fastest 5-10-5 that we could possibly do. Here's some keynotes that I really want you guys to remember to keep in mind as you do this whole 5-10-5. First, you are never truly sprinting except for the last 5 yards. So if you're gonna go an all-out max effort first 5, you're gonna have to slow down a whole lot of speed. It's gonna be really hard to do everything that we talked about in the most technical and efficient way possible. 2, we're not ever popping up. If you would never pop up in the first 10 yards of your 40-yard dash, why would you do it in a drill that makes you go 5-10-5? We wanna make sure that we're staying low the entire time so we don't have to waste energy and time going from position here to drop all the way back down. If we're already low, it's easy to just efficiently change direction from a low position. With that being said, your first couple reps, you want to play it smooth and slow. Something that I always think about: slow is smooth, and then when you're smooth, smooth is fast. So play it slow, feel it out, feel the angles that you got to be in, feel the inside load, and then ramp up the speed and get to a 90-95% max effort of your 5-10-5. And then another takeaway that we really want to make sure that we keep in mind is to keep an inside load on every decel point. If my load is on the inside leg as I change direction, all my weight's here and I'm pre-leaning, it's very easy to almost like bounce out of this position and push off. If my weight's on the outside leg and I have to go back this way, I'm either gonna do one of 2 things. One, I'm gonna have to slowly transition and I won't be able to accelerate until my hip gets past this leg again. Or 2, you're gonna have to drop step this leg and take a plyo step to get out. And that's just gonna waste too much time that we don't need to be wasting. Then the last step is this: be a technician. We talked about how it needs to be smooth and it's not a full effort sprint. But every step that we do is gonna set up the next step. So if my step 3 on my first 5 is bad and I don't turn my hips, it's gonna force me to not have a stagger in my stance and have to go all the way around to clear. If I have to go all the way around to clear, my next step is gonna be in front this way instead of that way. So every step that you do that we talked about is gonna set up the next step, and we wanna make sure that we have it in the most efficient manner possible when doing this 5-10-5. So set up for success. Every step matters. Get used to the technique of it, and you're gonna run the fastest 5-10-5 that you could possibly run.